Hey folks, welcome. Trying to check and see if there's a way to get to certain things through the app here. Welcome to the Battlefront Livestream podcast. I am your host, Nathan P. Butler. Again, podcast because it's more about the discussion than it is about the gameplay, especially when I'm talking with a lot of people in the chat or with a guest. A lot of times the gameplay suffers because I'm just not playing well while I'm trying to pay attention to something else. I am your host, of course, Nathan P. Butler. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the Star Wars chronology that is the most comprehensive available anywhere over at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. You can check out the podcasts I'm involved with, which are Star Wars Beyond the Films and Cloud City Casino. Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Herleman, who you heard in the last stream, and Cloud City Casino with Michael Morris, who's been on several streams with me lately. You can find those, of course, over at StarWarsReport.com. I'm trying in vain here to see if I can pull up this stream via my regular app here, and it's not working on the regular YouTube app. So give me just one quick second. I'm going to pull it up because it would appear, based on the last stream, that I am going to have to now be keeping an eye out for basically douchebags and trolls while the stream is going so that we can do some banning mid-stream rather than waiting until the stream itself is over. So hopefully that will show up. I'm pulling up the live streaming box right now, and it says stream is offline. Interesting. Obviously, there we go. Battlefront Livestream Podcast. Here we go. Live information. Yeah. I'm looking for public view, open live chat in a new window. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so hopefully that'll stay up, and that way if we have any issues in the chat this time, I can just go in there and knock those out. For what it's worth, the douchebag or the troll, I really shouldn't engage. Probably was not nice to engage there at the end of the last stream. But as I say, don't feed the trolls, so I will try to keep that in mind and go by that, though it's very difficult sometimes, especially when I've been streaming for quite a while. But we should have a nice clean stream this time because Homeboy has been banned. I was able to go in there after the stream was done. Problem is, you can't ban somebody actually after the stream is over, because the chat disappears even for the person who ran it. Like, I can't go back and look at the chat from a live event, at least not from what I can see. Hello, Vlog Boys. So basically, we're in a situation where from now on, as I start the stream, I'll try to make sure that I have the chat pulled up on the laptop. May take a second for me to sit down and start going, but in doing so, that'll allow, if we need to boot somebody, I can just run over there, click the button, click ban user, and screw them, they're gone, basically. All right. So, where we left off. Max rank, so no more grinding in order to get leveling up taken care of, because that's already been taken care of. But we're in the middle of some challenges. Daily challenge was taken care of in the last stream. That was the 5 Imperial heroes being taken down in Heroes vs. Villains. Got one more Heroes vs. Villains match to win to get that challenge out of the way. Got 20 pods to claim for that one. Got 22 more heavy blaster kills for that one. More importantly, I did just cross the 7,000 mark when it comes to credits, so I can go unlock another upgrade to the star cards. For those who've been following, or haven't been following, excuse me, all of the weapons are already unlocked. All the HUT contracts already done. Rank 60 and have spent the 17k to get the weak way. So, I mean, really, at this point, I'm just kind of burning through trying to get credits. Hairs bother me. Credits rather than XP, because you can't get XP after you hit the cap, but credits in order to basically keep upgrading star cards as I go along. So last one I did was cycler rifles, so I guess it's a 3-second difference on this cooldown. Scout pistol is a 3-second difference. 5-second difference on thermal detonator, but I don't tend to use it much. 2-second different active time. I'm trying to see which ones are actually worthwhile. And I just don't usually mess around with them too much. I guess I'll go ahead and I'll do the bowcaster. It doesn't matter. I'm basically at this point I'm upgrading ones that I don't even play with. because I'm trying to get to the point where they're all upgraded. So, including the ones that are HUT contract upgraded, all that's left for me are Barrage, Flash Grenade, Explosive Shot makes 4, Homing Shot makes 5, which I loved until they nerfed it. Focus Fire makes 6, 7, Cooling Cell, 8, 9, Thermal Detonator, and Scout Pistol. So now we are below the 2 digits. We're down into single digits for the number of cards still to upgrade. Unfortunately, that then leaves emotes and appearances that'll take forever. I'm going to change the emotes. We've discovered that no as a weak way sounds like he's saying no butthole. Nothing specific that it sounds like he's saying with number 1 or Tuscan. So I'm just curious if there's other ones that make him say something interesting by accident. I got Fist Bump. I have a bad feeling about this. Might as well assign that to something. Don't really use him much. We got the Come On, Ion Shock. Number 1's already done. Then a bunch that I haven't bothered with. We got the Scream that's just a Scream. Oh yeah, Flex. Nothing to see here. I'll do the nothing to see here. Why not? I don't care. I'm just curious if they say something that sounds close enough to English to be funny. You know, like the no butthole, which is now my go-to joke for anything Battlefront. I did, by the way, kill that party, so we don't have Mark still connected to it, which should be helpful from a connection standpoint. So it's not trying to connect in a party chat to someone who has walked away from the system to go take care of the family errands and whatnot there. And as promised in the last stream, I will jump into Outer Rim finally again, because I just wasn't when it was Mark that was on, because he doesn't have it yet. He doesn't have a season pass and hasn't bought it separately yet. And then taking a look at what I was trying to get done. I was trying to get done with the whole thing with heroes versus villains, and I could not get into a match by simply choosing that mode here for Outer Rim. So if Outer Rim will let me into an actual match, then we'll be good. Otherwise, I may just pull out and try to do the heroes versus villains on regular again. Notice I did change the notification down at the bottom instead of saying, hey, check out the vlog, because it hasn't had a new episode in a little bit. And now it just asks about questions. You know, hey, if you got questions, stick them in the chat. And that's not working. For what it's worth, by the way, if you are watching this and you watch on the app, a YouTube app, please let me know where you're getting access to watch it and do the chat. And whether or not you're doing it on a separate app. Like, I've got the regular YouTube iPad app, and I wasn't able to just pull it up so that I could pull up everything and keep track of the chat and do the bans and that sort of thing if necessary with some idiot like Carsonator comes around. For some reason, it wasn't working. I don't know why. Play Men of War, never heard of it. I'm sure I've heard, well, okay, I never heard of it as in I have no idea what that would be. Men of War sounds familiar, but it's not ringing a bell beyond that point. The next streams, by the way, when I do start moving beyond the Battlefront stuff again, the next ones for those who are new to the stream or haven't seen it recently, I'm going to be hitting Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4. I Platinum 2 and 3 in the past and Golden Abyss on the Vita in the past. Never got around to finally going back and Platinuming 1, but now they've re-released 1, 2, and 3 as the Nathan Drake collection on PS4 with all new trophies and whatnot, and that allows me to stream them. So I'll be shooting through those, and then eventually, once I have the opportunity, I'll get through 1, 2, 3, and 4, though I don't think I'm going to platinum. I'm going to focus on the story in those and probably put it on the easiest mode and just play through to get comment on the story. All right. All right, so Sinotrainer so the regular Android app for YouTube, not like a special YouTube gaming app, just the regular one. And NHK, what do I think Lando and Dengar's abilities will be? Hard to say. I mean, they're not really fleshed out all that much in canon at this point, particularly Dengar. I would hope that Lando's would have something to do with chance, something to do with like odds of some kind. Give us something that takes the gambler aspect of his personality and makes it a part of his play style. I really kind of think that as interesting as Nine Numb and Greedo are to play as, it doesn't really feel, thank you, Sino, it doesn't really feel like it's specific to them. Like, there's a confidence meter for Greedo. Okay, sure. Except, does Greedo really need a confidence meter anymore? Because in Legends, Greedo was a brand new bounty hunter as of A New Hope and was trying to build up his confidence in the short story and everything. But now, thanks to the Clone Wars, that whole background's gone. He's back previously in In the Clone Wars, I mean, he's already a bounty hunter some almost 20 years prior to A New Hope, so why does he still need to build the confidence? And Nine Numb, I mean, we don't see him enough about him, and we barely saw him much in Legends, so, you know, why does it make sense that he does the bomb, the proximity mine thing, and the little turret and whatnot? I mean, is there really a story aspect that explains that? So it kind of feels like with those two, they just went for something that would just be an interesting gameplay mechanic and didn't really necessarily make it try to fit with the feel of the characters themselves. I would like to see Lando, in particular, really fit the characterizations. Sorry, I gotta turn this down or I'm pulling out my ears. Apparently, when I stepped away and took it off, I must have accidentally hit the volume switch because it was blowing out my ears.
One target neutralized. Do not relent.
Do not relent. Okay. Hi, Hearts and Ewoks. Welcome. Yeah, going well now. You missed the troll earlier on the stream that I stopped about half an hour ago before I took a brief break, which was an interesting moment of trolldom. All right, now that I've got Survivalist, now will it? Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I was just running with Survivalist so long that I forgot how incredibly slow the regular health regeneration start is. So I was running with the Berserker trait and kept feeling like, come on, when it came to health regen. See, I don't know, I mean, it would make sense for Dengar to be kind of like Greedo in that sense, just maybe without the confidence meter thing, but if they do that too many times, I mean, it's just going to be kind of dull, right? I mean, having heroes that all kind of play the same. My freaking hair! That's bugging me just behind my ear for some reason today. And there's Boba. Hi, Boba! How y'all doing, Boba? Boba, where you going? Wait. Fine, don't talk to me, asshole. Alright. Hello, Snowstorm. Or Snowstorm, as I apparently was trying to say it correctly. Alright. Uh-oh! Oh! Gonna die, but maybe the... Oh, no, he ran too fast. He did the shoulder charge and ran too fast to be caught up in that thermal imploder explosion. Explosion! Die, Han Solo! Nope. Yeah, that's true. Nobody expected the confidence meter. Nobody expected Greedo to... I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people that expected Greedo to be actually in the first DLC anyway. I think of all the characters people would have expected to maybe be a villain, Greedo was not at the top of the list. Then again, Nine Numb wasn't either for the heroes. People were expecting Lando, but Lando makes more sense thematically to put with Bespin. Suck! Where am I still at? Okay. And again, we may be about to see... Okay, so if the game has just given Noob Lord 99 one of the heroes for his side, and he's not actually in the game yet, hence it's grayed out, that means that, yep, timer runs out, match starts, uneven match, 3-on-2. They have completely broken the way that heroes and villains are assigned in Heroes versus Villains now. The vast majority of the time, you're going to play a match where at least one round has an uneven number of heroes and villains per side, which is just sad. Here, guys, here's a health if you guys need it. And somehow something just threw me to the side for no apparent reason. That happened when I was playing with Mark. It threw me the other way. It threw me to the left instead of to the right. Rogue One reshoots, I mean, most big blockbuster films wind up having reshoots at some point, so I'm not all that concerned about it. I'm curious, it's more interesting to see how fandom is reacting to it, and people are flipping out, and making all kinds of assumptions about what's going to be in the reshoots. Reshoots a lot of times are just like, they're small potato stuff. Wow! That electricity did jack. I mean, our side won, but we were probably going to win with it being 3-on-2. Yeah, Obi-Wan would be interesting because you'd have to like slow him down and be kind of slower like Palpatine, give him some heavier abilities. But yeah, Obi-Wan would be kind of cool. Yoda, I don't know if they do Yoda because it doesn't seem as though they have. I mean, you've got a slightly different stature for Vader, but I don't know that you would be in that they would do something where you've got a significantly smaller character than the others. Because that changes some of the sight lines and stuff like that they have to do. But then again, I mean, I never would have expected them to put Yoda into a Soul Calibur game, and they did. So, yeah, it's 4 heroes in a match or 3 in the DLC. It's 3, but it can be chosen from all 4 in the original version. And the number of rounds to win is 3 now in Outer Rim versus 5 in the original. They've updated that. Oh! New Lord is that. Whoa! I'm sliding! Sliding! Slip sliding. Slip sliding away. Probably not. Not really. I don't really have any interest in Jungle Book. Either Jungle Book, old or new, although the newest one, the newer Jungle Book I haven't really heard much about. The original, at least, I did watch a bunch of Tailspin when I was a kid, which should count because of Baloo being in it, but that's about it. On another Tailspin. And Matthew, I played through and did, if you want to see them, check the channel. I did Let's Play live streams of all 3 of the Star Wars playsets for Disney Infinity 3.0 already on the channel a while back. So I believe they're in the playlist of A Guide to Disney Infinity for Star Wars fans. I'm pretty sure. Right now, and I thought I said it in the last stream, but I won't be doing any live streaming of it just, at this point, because at least until the move is done, they're all packed up. All of my Disney Infinity 2.0 and 3, well, 1 through 3.0 actually, all of them, they're all packed up at this point. So I don't have access to them until the move is done and we get everything set up at the new place. And yes, they did discontinue, or they have sort of discontinued Disney Infinity. Basically, the stuff that was already about to be released, the last 2 things for 3.0 that they had announced, are still going to be released. But they're not Star Wars or Marvel, so I don't really have an interest in them, personally. And then they are ending the game's expansion beyond this point, although how long they'll keep the servers active to be able, for instance, to play user-created maps and stuff like that is unknown at this point. Have they confirmed when Rebels Season 2 will be on DVD and Blu-ray and whatnot? They have not. Generally, that usually is... Whoa! That is usually something... How the fuck did he manage to do that? He jumps... Okay, that guy shot me. Okay, I thought Luke had killed me, jumping in the air and swinging a lightsaber several yards beneath my feet. But no, Rebels Season 2, generally they'll put out a season set of a Star Wars series within about a month to month and a half before the next season starts. But that didn't actually wind up being the way that it played out for Rebels last time, which kind of begs the question, I wonder what's coming next as far as the scheduling goes, because they actually premiered Season 2 well before anybody thought they were going to. I would expect to get an announcement, if there's going to be one anytime soon. I would expect the announcement to be at Celebration Europe. Alright, then... what heroes and villains do you want to see? Like in this game, I would like to see more of the bounty hunters. I'd like to see maybe some of the new Stormtrooper variants that we're seeing in Rogue One. But those, I guess, wouldn't be heroes, villains. I'd like to see some of the characters out of Rogue One, some of the rebels out of Rogue One. That sort of thing.
One enemy down.
All right. As for about the Emperor not being a playable figure, well, you got to remember the way the process they were using. They each playset in a particular era would tend to have a handful, 3 to 4 heroic characters that you can initially play as, maybe one released later to add to it. But generally, you're only going to see one villain per playset released as a figure because they're not native to the set. In other words, you can't immediately play as them. You have to unlock them by getting the various, I guess in this case, getting the one champion coin, I think is what it's called in the Star Wars stuff, to be able to have access to them. So you had Vader, you had Kylo Ren, and you had Darth Maul, which are more action-oriented characters. But that meant that they'd essentially just used up, in order for the more action-oriented characters, the one villain they were going to do for each set. So, oh, I was about to go get that, but I don't need to. What the? Ah! Get my feet out the ground. Where's Han? Where's Han Solo? Han Solo, Solo. Drop an imploder just in case. That didn't do any good. Where's Han Solo? Because it's his death that's going to mark the end of the round. Not that it matters because we're losing horribly. There he is right there, though.
Han Solo!
Prepare to die, Han Solo! Prepare to die, where are you? Where the shit is it?
We've wiped them out.
Heroes defeated, there we go. Hello, Caden. Have you heard? Oh, the Death Star. Yes, I have heard of the Star Wars Despecialized Edition. I haven't watched all of them. I've seen the first, seen the New Hope. There is somebody who is a viewer of my, from the Star Wars home video library stuff, who's actually planning on sending me, actually my wife needs to check the P.O. box. It may have already arrived. Sending me the Despecialized Editions burned to Blu-ray so I can go through and watch them all, but I haven't actually seen them all yet. I'm not really a big proponent of the fan edits and fan restorations usually, but it's kind of one of those things where right now, since that's the only way you can do it, it's interesting to see what fans are able to do, and eventually it'll be interesting to compare, assuming they ever do put out a Blu-ray edition of the unaltered versions, be interesting to see how those compare to the fan-generated ones. And no, I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in Skylanders. Or Amiibos, as the case may be. The only interest I had, the only reason I got into Disney Infinity at all was because of the Star Wars content that was coming. So I got 2.0 with the Marvel stuff. It got 1.0 because you could actually just download it free because of how bad the Wii one was on Wii U. And then I picked up 3. But I have zero interest in Skylanders or Amiibos, or really on almost anything that's non-Marvel, that's non-Marvel or non-Star Wars for Disney Infinity, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got all the figures from Pirates of the Caribbean. Between my wife and I, we've got all the ones from Frozen. I've got the couple Tron ones, but I mean, since they don't have play sets, for the most part, those are useless. Unless you're going to be playing a lot of Toy Box Takeover and stuff like that. I think The Force Awakens is going to wind up probably getting a better... Well, I don't know. I think The Force Awakens is in a position where a lot of the criticism... Because of how much of it, in some ways, is rooted in the how dare you reboot everything mindset in order to make room for these new films, kind of makes me wonder how it's going to wind up being perceived, because I don't see that mindset going away for a while. Whereas if it was just a regular, film criticism now versus later, usually film criticism is particularly harsh, particularly in social media early, and then it changes and becomes a little more measured in the future. That's fine. That's fine. He blew it up anyway. Do I watch Flash, Arrow, Legends tomorrow? Yes. I watch all the DC TV series, and okay, I guess I can't say all of them anymore because I haven't seen Preacher yet. But yeah, I watch Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and then from Marvel, I do watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and as much as I didn't find it particularly interesting, I did watch all of Agent Carter. If I'd actually been friggin' aiming, that would have killed him. Instead, I, shot next to him. Ugh, it's still driving me nuts. Like a pirate wearing his wheel on his jeans. Arr, it's driving me nuts. Just saying. JL, which new Spider-Man? Are you talking about the new Spider-Man as in the new Spider-Man in his own movies that we saw recently? Which would be Garfield, or are we talking about the new guy that's actually in Captain America Civil War? And yes, Supergirl is moving to CW this fall, which makes me wonder if that's why they set up the end of this season of Flash the way that they did, because they set it up in the way that started the Flashpoint storyline in the comics. And if they were to go that route, that would allow them to do some alternate universe type stuff and then sort of reset things like the New 52, which might be able to add Superman and Supergirl and all that into the Arrowverse. Because one of the primary things initially about the Arrowverse was there were no superheroes with superpowers, at least not initially. So Superman didn't exist yet. Supergirl didn't exist. So, do I think that Finn and Poe are gay? No. I'm not sure that it matters. I think Finn was getting a thing, at least a little bit of a thing towards Rey. It doesn't mean he couldn't be bi or something. I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure that it matters in the grand scheme of things. It'd be interesting to see, though, how Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars handles that sort of thing in movie form, because Star Wars has been moving towards more diversity and sort of more of a, I don't want to say a social justice type of thing, but more into sort of a, we're going to do different representations than we tended to in the past type of thing in their stories, but not necessarily on film. So, for instance, in Lords of the Sith, you have Moff Delian Moores, who is a gay woman. But they don't play it up very large. It's just the fact that at one point they mentioned that the spouse that she had that died in an accident happened to be a woman. And then you've got the ISB character in Aftermath that's gay. The ISB character in Aftermath that's a gay man. And you have the lesbian couple who are the aunts of Tim and Wexley / Snap Wexley in Aftermath as well, and another background character in Aftermath who's noted as gay, and so on and so on. You have the fact that now we see a lot more women being introduced as strong characters, but most of the new women being introduced into Star Wars outside of the films are black women. Whether we're talking about Nakari Kelling, or Rey Sloane, or Sana Solo, and so on and so on. So there's sort of like this classic overcorrection type thing going on. We are going to be more diverse, but since everybody's trying to be more diverse, the result is that now you're seeing a diversity in a societal product, in an entertainment product, a modern societal entertainment product, that actually is off-kilter demographically with, in essence, the society that is producing it. Which is interesting to see. But you see that. That's why I say it's sort of more of an overcorrection than trying to make things actually fit modern numbers. But we're to a point now where I don't think that it really matters numerically to be a political issue or to be a cultural issue anymore. For instance, I forget the exact number, but it's like less than 1%. I think it may be like 0.3%. I forget the exact number of society our American society is transgender. What's the big political issue right now and the big cultural issue? Transgenderism, the bathroom issue, and so on. So, I don't know. I see them doing something with the films to go for more sexual orientation diversity, but I doubt it would be Poe and Finn, because I'd like to think that they kind of have planned out what they want to happen with those characters by now. And it seems like the big, wow, look at the way Poe's like checking out Finn in that jacket and so on kind of stuff, that bromance kind of stuff. I don't think that Disney and Lucasfilm really realized how that was going to be perceived and how that was going to become such a big social media thing until the film was already out. And I would like to think that they didn't, that they're not still trying to figure out where these characters are going, that their arcs, particularly over the films, have been decided in some measure already, that it's not just seat of their pants making shit up as they go along kind of stuff. But maybe. Whew. Come on. Getting hungry. I'm starting to feel my stomach growling. Vanilla Coke. Have not had vanilla Coke in ages, so I felt, why not? Give it a try. I miss cherry vanilla Coke and cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. I just like those two flavors together. Still got to win one more of these stupid matches. Oh, but now if I can remember to, I can actually press the little buttons and do the little emotes and see if he says anything weird. I'm curious, JL, and I haven't really been following it. Is Homecoming supposed to be set after the events of Civil War? Or are they essentially origin earlier stories that lead into Civil War? You will start as a rebel soldier. Okay. Alright, now it's 3-on-3. Okay.
Stay alert. We have to
let's
make
see.
sure
So,
our vital personnel are protected.
okay, he just says a lot, but none of it sounds weird. Yatukato is the, like, nothing to see here, move along. And then, of course, why did the man die? Because his body wasn't able to... Ah, it's the Emperor. I thought it was just a regular soldier. Gotta run. Later. Do a little bit of damage to him. Why did he die? Because his body couldn't get rid of solid waste. That's right, the Corpsman had no butthole.
Target down. Press your attack.
I love the Mexican president's response to, I'm going to build a wall and Mexicans going to pay for it, where the Mexican president was just like, no. And then, of course, Trump's response was totally Trump, and yet completely illogical, which was the, you know what, that wall just got like 10 feet taller, or whatever it was that he said. Nice and blustery, but realistic, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Although, how ironic would it be if it turns out that he actually is able to make Mexico pay for it by somehow getting a United Nations resolution or some shit passed that winds up forcing it. Although, UN resolution and how binding they are has always been kind of a question. Force Awakens has had some backlash, but it's tended to be backlash over how dare you reboot the continuity to make this film, and similar plot points to A New Hope in how J.J. Abrams used plot points from A New Hope and Empire as ways to make it feel like classic Star Wars very, very quickly and easily recognizable, and then hung the rest of the story on those. Ah, shoot into the darkness! The red says he must be like underneath. So red says I'm totally on top of this guy. Come on. Come on. It's still saying I'm on top of him, but where is he? Is there a lower level that he's on underneath there or something? What the actual... Oh my god, I love
They just eliminated one.
the frequent references to the tiny hands thing that are made by John Oliver. Teeny tiny hands. I think Trump would actually get a kick out of playing Battlefront, because unlike in most games of cards, you only have 3 different cards in your hand, so you have tiny hands. He'd feel right at home. Look, my hands are huge. See? Oh shit. There we go. Kind of makes me wonder if Carsonator was Trump in that last stream. Maybe he just got tired of people making fun of him. Whoa! Alright, so let's bust one of these guys. Bust out one of those suckers. Ah! I thought that you could turn that off whenever. Uh-oh! Beta's on my ass! Run! Run away from the pain! What pain? The pain that Vader's about to inflict. Run away from the pain! Shoot him in the feet. I'm telling you. If they're blocking with a lightsaber, shoot him in the feet. Man, we're getting our asses handed to us here. Is there a chance that that Trump will win? I feel like the memes that go around that use the poster from Aliens versus Predator, right? Whoever wins, we lose. I mean, our choice is a pathological liar, a corrupt pathological liar from the left, or a corrupt pathological liar on the right. Okay. So either way, we're screwed. It's more a question of what happens 4 years from now or 8 years from now, which is the country's going to have a horrible president, whoever the next president is. The question being, okay, which party gets the blame for that horrible president, and therefore gets slammed and loses in the next election cycle? I have zero hope at this point for a successful presidency based on the presidential candidates in the current setting. I mean, when I look at the current people still running, and I think the best option would be Bernie Sanders, and I'm an economics teacher and know that his policies are fucking crazy from an economic standpoint, that tells you how bad the other two are. So yeah, I don't know. I think that Trump isn't going to get any help from the media, who are already pretty firmly in Hillary's camp, but it doesn't seem like it matters. The question is whether or not Trump can regain the support of all of the large number of Republicans who have said that they will not vote for Trump, the Never Trump crowd. And I don't know. I don't see him necessarily being able to do that. But you do have some. You see the conservative media at this point very split. Like if you look at like conservative talk radio, you have some hosts like Sean Hannity who seem to be doctors for Trump. They're gastrointestinal doctors because their head is so far up Trump's ass that you can tell that they're basically doing colonoscopies constantly. Whereas you have others who are the far opposite, like Eric Erickson, who are heavy on the Never Trump, who aren't going to be able to be much help to the GOP in the coming election. They're going to be more, almost as critical, if not more so, of the GOP candidates than perhaps of even Hillary. So I don't know. It's an interesting election cycle for sure, but interesting doesn't necessarily mean good. I would say that we're very much. This election cycle and how it is interesting is very much the way that Wash described the landing at the beginning of Serenity, right? Define interesting. Oh God, we're all going to die. Which may be interesting, but isn't good. Do you think Episode 8 will start on a snowy planet with a bigger AT-AT? No. Why would we think that it's going to start? I guess because of the idea that it must parallel Empire? I don't think we have any indication of a snowy planet in Rogue One yet, do we? We have AT-ATs for sure because they show up on that in that beach scenario in the teaser trailer. That, by the way, is what I'm really waiting on the most from Celebration Europe, because I would expect that they're going to put out another trailer for Rogue One. And I'm kind of stoked to see what's next. Oh, come on. It's going to be unbalanced 3-on-2, isn't it? Yep. 3-on-2. No wonder people are ditching these heroes versus villains matches, and you see the roster go from 6 and shrink over the course of the match on whichever side is losing. Because once you start losing, the dominoes just keep falling against you, and you wind up screwed even more.
Stormtroopers are going to try to eliminate them.
But I keep getting that damn win 3 heroes versus villains matches challenge over and over and over again. That is a hell of a saber throw as far as distance goes. Say that as someone living in the Atlanta area with an arm like that, we ought to put Vader on the Falcons. But I'm pretty sure that Vader likes to win. Oh! Ah! Ah! Yeah, personally, I was a big Cruz fan. He still talked like a politician most of the time, his cadence and whatnot, but it was because of the fact that the guy's got an eidetic memory, I think is what it's called. Or whatever, where it's not a photographic memory, it's basically you hear something and you remember it with perfect precision, or near perfect precision. So, yeah, I just someone who's very constitutionalist and whatnot, but he was going to have issues anyway. He was going to be torn into by the media, but at least it would have been better than Trump. Of course, you know, what do I know? I thought Rubio and Carson would be staunch on that degree too, and they've both wound up recently coming out in one form or another for Trump. So remember, principles matter. But when you get in the spotlight and the spotlight's no longer on you, you need to give up your principles so you can get back on TV. Yay. Welcome to America. Whoa.
This is gonna hurt.
Ah, missed
Keep
him.
your head down.
3-month voucher to end of the go. Awesome.
Let's blast them.
Damn! Die, Palpatine! Die! There we go. Hey! Oh, I thought it was Luke hitting me. I was like, Luke, the hell are you doing? Just because I got Leia and you didn't, because, you know, Star Wars isn't going to play into your incest fantasies anymore.
Are we having fun yet?
Ah! Smoked. Man, we suck. Of course, we're also 4 players versus 5 and started the match at a disadvantage. Yeah, isn't it funny back in the day we all thought that that Bush was like way too establishment, and now it's like, oh my God, please anybody but. XZ, I don't see Trump actually building the wall for multiple reasons. 1, because he's already backed off of it a couple of times. 2, because the amount of that he keeps saying it's going to cost keeps going up pretty much every time he gives a major speech about it. 3, because the economy isn't going to be able to handle that kind of expense without some major cuts elsewhere, and we haven't really seen that much from either party in quite a while. It's just not a viable. It's not a very viable option. Again, I would highly suggest, and I know it's a comedy show, but they do their research. I would check out John Oliver's take on Last Week Tonight. There's a YouTube video of it, I'm sure, because I've seen it on here, on building the wall, on the logistics of trying to build that wall, what it would cost, and so on, based on information from actual structural engineers and so forth. I can't imagine a wall actually getting built. Not to mention it'd be a little bit hilarious for a free trader to be talking about building a wall, but that's okay. Who's more likely to get in, Trump or Hillary? Again, whoever wins, we lose. So I would argue that, man, I don't know. I mean, months ago, I would have told you that Trump is entirely unelectable. But you see the kind of response that he's still able to get. The more extreme he gets, the more people get into it.
Key Imperial personnel are your top priority.
I don't know.
Forget that.
I don't know. Honestly, if I had to choose between Trump or Hillary, I probably at this point would choose Hillary. And I am a staunch never Hillary person. But I'm also a staunch never Trump, because I guess I'm both of those, and it's simply because I like the idea that the country survives. I like the idea that the Constitution survives. I like the idea that you don't have another 8 years of a president who feels like they can do whatever the hell they want. Laws be damned. And I think that we're looking at both candidates being very much like that. So, kind of like, whatever. I mean, Trump is talking about how he wants to restrict the First Amendment more so that people in the media who speak badly about him, not that are libelous, not that are slanderous, but that simply disagree with him and speak harshly about him, should be able to be imprisoned. Okay. This is the guy who suggested that, I forget who it was, some journalist who disagreed with him, who is, by the way, an American citizen, should be deported for a short amount of time as punishment for the opinions expressed against Trump. The fuck? So yeah, it's not meant to be a political podcast, a political show here, but I mean that's the questions that have come up. Actually, yeah, a remake generally doesn't exist in the same universe as the original. Generally. Which games? What the hell was that? I launch. All of a sudden, flicker. I'm on the ground. And I'm disoriented. What the hell? And JL, I'm playing Heroes vs. Villains playlist in the regular game.
None remain.
So you go to matchmaking, multiplayer. Go off to the side where it says list of modes, and you choose Heroes versus Villains. Now, whether or not you're actually going to be able to get in the same match, hard to say. Although right now, if you did, you'd get thrown in on the Rebel side, because right now it's 6-on-5. I just want to have us win one more of these stupid matches so I can move on to another mode. Tiffany, The Force Awakens. As opposed to, when I started hearing it as a teacher, and as someone who oversees the virtual seminars, the online courses for our new teachers in Fulton County, as the lead virtual coach for the teacher induction program, I am constantly hearing TFA as Teach for America. So it's funny that now I have to be careful when I'm using the acronym TFA, because sometimes I'm referring to the film, sometimes I'm referring to the program that takes people who didn't major in education and basically gives them a chance to become teachers for a short amount of time to get some or all their college tuition repaid. It's a cool program. But that's how I had always heard TFA until The Force Awakens comes around, and now it's kind of a dual meaning acronym for me on a daily basis. There we go. Yeah. Whoa! Gotta worry a little bit, though, Lego fan, about the incumbency issue. And yes, Hearts in the US, I did like Tron Legacy. I actually like Legacy more than I like the original Tron. And I was a big fan for a while. I haven't seen the last few episodes, but when it was initially airing of a Tron... Shit, what is it even called? The Tron animated series that they did recently. So what's JL? What's your username then on here? But yeah, what I was saying is I don't know, because the incumbency factor is a huge thing. I mean, you very rarely in the U.S., particularly in the modern age, in the era of super PACs and the current primary process and so on, you very rarely see an incumbent president not get a second term. So, yeah, that's the mode, JL. But I mean, like, what is your username? Like, what is your PlayStation Network name that I can look for? 'Cause, I mean, I can pull up to see whether you're in the same one that I am, but I wouldn't be able to tell without knowing what name you're under. I would like to think that after 4 years of Trump or 4 years of Hillary, people would be like, oh my God, and they'd vote for somebody else the next time around, so it wouldn't be a two-term presidency for either of them. But we've seen so many times of that. I mean, there was a big push against W. There's a big push against... there's been a lot of presidents who've been in a situation where they probably should never have gotten a second term, but they did anyway. Okay, so you're not in my game. You're just in the same playlist, JL. There we go. Speaking of Uprising, on a Star Wars topic, if you haven't tried it, the Uprising mobile game is decent, but even more grindy than Battlefront is, if you can imagine that, which is pretty insane. At this point, my character is at max level on that too, which is 100, I believe, 200. I honestly forget. On the max level on that as well, and it finished Act 2, and still in the process of getting better and better gear for the character for when they finally add more material, more story material. But that is a game that actually does have story, and which is, come on, which is, it's running around in circles trying to get the power up to actually register and pick up. That is actually an in-universe story. So the story material you'll find in Uprising counts canonically, whereas any material that you're seeing in Battlefront does not necessarily. It's more the authentic rather than in-continuity thing. Why does Leia not look 19 in A New Hope? Because wasn't Carrie Fisher older than that? I don't remember what her age was offhand. Although if you want to see Leia act her age, act like a teenager, particularly a spoiled royal teenager, check out the Princess Leia miniseries by Mark Waid from Marvel. That was horrible and totally out of character for Leia. You have Leia saying lines like, if stuff would stop going wrong for 2 seconds, and such in the story. As I said repeatedly on Star Wars Beyond the Films about that story, that's not Leia! Because, I mean, it really isn't. It's like they just said, hey, here's a character, she's a princess, she's a leader now, and by the way, she's 19, and go. And Mark Waid was like, okay, and didn't bother to actually watch Carrie Fisher's portrayal of Leia in the films at all before writing the story. Oh, she was 19 while filming? Wow. Yeah. I mean, she looks older, but I mean, it's just that she'd been in acting for a while, so it could be just that she has a more mature look. And of course, why does she look older than she should be in The Force Awakens? Well, it's all those years of drugs and such, and purposeful, voluntary shock therapy, and so on. Maybe, yeah, we could see some third parties, but right now the biggest push on third parties seems to be a third party on the right, and this guy, something French, that Bill Crystal and some of the other commentators are pushing forward, who right now has little to no name recognition, and wouldn't be able to really do it anyway, because I want to say we're at the point where getting parties on the ballot, a lot of that process is done. Yeah, you won't be able to get into this one right now, JL, because I believe it's full. I believe it's got 6 and 6. No, I'm in Heroes versus Villains. But there's tons and tons of heroes versus villains match going on at any given time because of how many people are playing across the country or across this region. So basically what would happen is if somebody were to drop out of this or drop out between rounds, if you were to be looking for a match then, there'd be a chance of getting into the same match. The only way you can be sure to get into the same match is if you're in someone's party or you're their partner, and adding someone in like that generally requires being on the friends list. And I would encourage you to send me a friend request, Darth_Soul. Since you've been on the stream so much, I mean, we ought to try to get you in at some point if we can. But at this point, it'd be random chance to possibly get into the same match.
Throw their fire off me.
I'm gonna die. There we go. Yeah, and what's funny, of course, with the ages of those characters is that initially, early on, the official word was that Luke and Leia were 20 in A New Hope. And then, of course, that changed, and they started saying, and it became the canonical thing to say, okay, well, now they're actually, or the in-universe thing to say, okay, well, they're actually 18 in... Oh, fuck! They're actually 18 in A New Hope. The blood pressure medication I'm on, if I start coughing, my gag reflex kicks in really bad, so I was trying not to throw up in the middle of a stream. Okay. But yeah, they said that they were 20, then 18, and then, of course, when Lucas finally pinned down the time frame for Episode 3, they became 19. So, they're playing kind of fast and loose with it. And again, it's JL, it's Darth_Soul. And thank you, Dottie. Or Dottie's, should I be just Scotty? Dottie? Not sure which to use, but thank you. Yeah, it's pretty gross, ain't it? But like, you'll start coughing, and because of where the cough is coming from, it's like it starts causing your gag reflex to kick in at the same time. I haven't actually thrown up from it ever, but I always feel like I'm about to, so I'm like, oh! Whew. Yeah, Obi-Wan was 57 in A New Hope. He did get older, but keep in mind, again, that's another one that changed. Obi-Wan was not said to be 57 in A New Hope until after they released The Phantom Menace. Prior to that, he was said to be, I want to say it was 60, I think is what they had said for the longest time. And then, of course, Lucas says, no, actually, in this film that's 32 years before, he's actually only 25, which meant that they had to change that as well. Same thing, same thing with Vader/Anakin. They had him as 45? Something like that. He was like supposed to be in his 40s or something. No, but maybe it wasn't 40s. I forget. I'd have to go back and look, but he was slightly younger than Obi-Wan, but not a lot younger than Obi-Wan. Initially in all the materials based on information that Lucas provided to Lucasfilm for producing things for the expanded universe and all. And then, of course, in came The Phantom Menace that made him 9, turning 10 by the end of the film in The Phantom Menace. And all of a sudden, his age changes. A really cool source to see kind of where the changes took place in that is check out, was it Bill Smith or Bill Slavicsek? I forget. There's a book called A Guide to the Star Wars Universe, 2nd edition. Make sure it's the 2nd edition in order to see it. The first one was by Velasco, and that was pre-91. The 3rd edition updates but doesn't have a timeline at the front. But if you look at the Guide to the Star Wars Universe 2nd edition, at the beginning there's a timeline thing that is set up, and it includes date references for the birth dates of characters based on their prequel tweaks to their ages. And it's also a pretty cool little guidebook. I wish they still did those, but the universe is just too large at this point from a legend standpoint. Hence needing something more like the 3-volume encyclopedia to be able to do something like that. And yes, very good thing I didn't barf. And I didn't catch what was said before that. Yes, I will probably barf either way this November. Now, I'm not a drinker. My wife's not much of a drinker, though she drank much more in the past than I ever have. And she had a decent drink the other day when we were at Chili's eating lunch. That made me think, hey, maybe a little bit more of the social drinker or drinking at home. That's not too bad. Why not? Whatever. But I just haven't. But I got a feeling come election day, it'll be a day for some imbibing so that by the time it's done, be like, huh? I don't care, man. Screw it. We're all screwed anyway. And I can't add, like, me being in the middle of the match, I can't add through this, and you're not going to add through that Facebook stuff anyway. You're going to need to add through PSN itself. You're going to need to add Darth_Soul to do it, or I'll have to add yours, but I would have to add yours after the match is over. Or if you sent a friend request, I'd have to do it after the match is over, too. So, I mean, either way. Oh, man. Freaking A. Trying to get one more win on this stupid match type, so I can finally turn in that challenge and not have to do it again.
No!
That's gonna fire anyway. Alright, drop that. I think you're meaning it the other way around. They changed Sebastian Shaw into Hayden Christensen. But yeah, I find that very disrespectful to Shaw, and it doesn't make any freaking sense. Unless they're basically saying that what you exist as in the Force after you die has nothing to do with your actual life. It has to do with the last time you were light side for a while. Because if he was light side when he died, and he actually was redeemed, then it makes even less sense for him to be Hayden Christensen, because the excuse of, well, it's his light side version that he shows up as a Force ghost. Oh, really? Then what about the light side that he was at the end of Return of the Jedi right before his death? Asswipe. And so on. And you're welcome. I feel like the live streams are mainly me running around dying because I'm not caring too much. So no, I've answered that a lot of times. I think it varies depending on situation. I'm partial to 9num with his versatility. I need to get better playing as Luke again, who used to be the favorite for the light side. And I'm a fan of the versatility of Boba Fett on the villain side, and the just the imposing presence of Vader. Go. Run, Luke, run! Yeah, it would definitely be nice if we could get some of the changes from the 2011 versions reverted, or the 2004 versions, or the 97 versions. The problem with that is that now they're building a canon in which anytime they make reference to those things, you're running the risk of creating a contradiction if they were to ever change it back.
Got something for you.
Run!
I'm not afraid to go.
Run! Yeah, at least I wounded him. I don't know. Here, my thought on that would be pretty straightforward, which is if the Republican convention goes down and somehow Trump is not the nominee, which by the current delegate count, he pretty much is guaranteed to be as long as the delegates vote as they have initially been committed on the first ballot. Trump becomes a nominee on the first ballot. If there is a protest vote of some kind among those who are not delegates who are guaranteed to vote the way that their state did and so forth, on the first ballot, because by the time of the second ballot it'll probably be too late. That's where Cruz has a lot of support, is for the second ballot. But if they can do that if they do that somehow on the first ballot, and the end result is that you get Trump not getting the nomination, I expect outright riots. Because Trump supporters in general have shown us, and those against Trump, particularly on the farthest end of the left, as we saw in California recently, are prone to, I'm not going to deal with this in a rational way. I'm not going to deal with this through discussion. I'm not going to deal with this through legal means. I didn't get my way. Screw you. I'm going to burn and flip some cars. Which is just as idiotic in a political situation as it is when it's Woohoo! Our team won the Super Bowl! Fuck our town! Burn it down! What? Essentially, yeah. But yeah, I definitely... Now, I don't necessarily see that happening on the Democratic side. But I would see if Trump now has the delegates in the delegate count and Trump does not become the nominee, I see riots. I would almost guarantee that there will be riots. Granted, the riots would be just another example of why he really shouldn't be the candidate, but either way, I mean, it doesn't turn out well for the country at large. Whoa! I'm gonna die because I don't know what's happening. I'm standing here clicking on the slash button, and I don't know if it's the lag or what, but he's sitting there like, oh yeah, huh. By which time they're closer. I don't think it would have made a difference then. I still would have died, but there's a definite lag in the melee attack for Luke and Vader. I noticed it with Vader earlier too. Unless that's just something that they've added on purpose as like a ninja tweak and it's meant to be a slower wind up to the swing. Does Lucas care what they do with Star Wars? I would say yes and no. Does he care? He's expressed opinions about it one way or the other. But I think that he's sort of tempered in what he says by those who advise him on public relations. Because you recall his I sold my company to to white slavers comment when he first saw Force Awakens, and now he's talking it up as something that's great, and he's so proud of what they've done with his franchise. I don't know. I'm not sure Lucas really had a grasp on what his own franchise was designed to be by the time he got to the end of actually working with it. Didn't like when he made fun of the cripple reporter because you're in a wheelchair all your life. That's yet another crass Trump moment. But recall there was also the wheelchair-bound, a veteran politician or both, who of course had the moment of Joe Biden with his stand up and let's all give you a round of applause. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. When, he was talking up the guy's accomplishments supposedly and had no fucking clue that the guy was in a wheelchair. And the guy had been paralyzed for many, 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 many years. Which was pretty much an affront. I think Lucas is angry about the despecialized edition. No, I mean, not until it really starts cutting into his profits much. Let's see. Oh! What the? That could explain a bad round there. 1-on-6. I'm sure it didn't start 1-on-6. I'm going to see if I can get into one on Outer Rim. Yeah, the vice president vote would be important. Assuming that either of them would get impeached or get assassinated or otherwise die in office. And while I would not put it past it again, assassinate Trump, you get riots in the streets. Assassinate Hillary, I think Bill goes, I'm a free man. And the country moves on in one form or another because she doesn't have the rabid support base. But you don't necessarily ever want to see a national crisis of that kind, which makes the vice president virtually useless. I mean, the vice president's only constitutional duty basically is stay breathing in case the president stops and break ties in the Senate. That's it. During presiding over the Senate, which most of them don't bother to actually do most of the time. God, I'm tired of heroes versus villains. But I got one more win necessary. Notice I've been playing heroes versus villains so much, and we still haven't got that third win yet. My God. Could Disney release the original cuts on Blu-ray? Possibly. They would have to get a distribution deal going with Fox. And I swear I've answered that question before many times as well. Yeah. You don't see the people leaving matches quite as much in other modes, but man, heroes versus villains, people are dropping in and out constantly. All the time. And screw it. I'll just do out. No, I gotta get that last win so I can get this fucking thing off of my challenge list. Because I don't, now that it's 2 out of 3, I don't want to pay the 100 credits to get rid of it. Wait, what? Okay, I just screwed that up and somehow went to Walker Assault. I wasn't paying attention at all to what I was doing, apparently. Let's see. Favorite Batman: West, Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, or Affleck? I'd like to see more of Affleck before I make the call. My favorite in general, probably Kilmer. But it's because I particularly liked his playing back and forth against the Riddler played by Jim Carrey. More Age of Rebellion, Age of the Empire, Force and Destiny reviews coming. I've got actually about 4 of those books sitting off to the side. I haven't had a chance to even get to them, though. To actually go through and read them and check them out. And to be honest, they haven't had a whole lot of recent new releases. They just put out a very quick burst, and since then, not really much at all. The ones I've still got, while this match is loading... The ones that I still need to get to actually read through to do the reviews are Nexus of Power and Chronicles of the Gatekeeper for Force and Destiny, Mask of the Pirate Queen, and Special Modifications for Edge of the Empire. There aren't any Age of Rebellion ones that I haven't covered already. So, there you go.
Y-Wings are ready to support
Gotham's
you
good.
against the AT-AT
That's another
attack,
DC one
but
that I
you'll need to
watch.
activate those uplinks to
Not,
guide our
I don't know. I
fighters
really
in.
liked it in the first season, and this season's kind of been like, to me. Although it's interesting that they're introducing the Court of Owls storyline in Thomas Wayne, it appears. The brother Thomas, like Thomas Jr., not like Thomas Wayne the dad.
We have activated the uplink
let's
station.
see.
Well done.
And no, I'm playing on PS4. I do not play anything at this point on PC because I like to know that the game's going to work when I buy it. And I'm way past my tolerance point of PC games that I buy that wind up not working. Even though it says that the stats are fine of my computer versus what the requirements are. So I do not do any PC gaming whatsoever. Huck's the new Tarkin, the military commander with the clout.
Imperial Walker targeted by our Y-Wing.
Kind of. I mean, he was there as a counterpoint to Kylo Ren, the way that Tarkin was a counterpoint to Vader. At least I'm getting some of those heavy blaster kills when I'm actually paying attention. But I did not want to do Walker Assault. So I'll jump to Heroes versus Villains after this. I don't know why I chose this. Honestly, how I chose it, because I was not paying any attention at all. I was going by the muscle memory of click,
Our
click,
spies
click,
tell us that
and
Boba
apparently I
Fett has
clicked
been
wrong.
seen in your area.
I think the Steelbooks are, for the time being, we'll see... I don't know. I don't think we'll see
Stormtroopers in the area.
more in the near future unless they're... get that out of here. They're more Best Buy exclusives. They seem to have sort of cornered the market on Star Wars Steelbooks outside of that one set of releases. Oh, you ass spelunker! Where'd you go, Holmes? Where did he go? He stopped showing up on my radar completely. That was weird. I guess I should try playing the objective a little. White-clothed officer in the trailer is indeed a new character. There was a leak via the Edelweiss site of several preview pages of the Rogue One visual guide, or visual dictionary, whatever they're calling it. And you could look there and find the names and at least a little bit of the background of all of those new major characters, or almost all of them. Not Forrest Whitaker's character, and there was one more major character, I think, that you couldn't spot that was already shown in the trailer. But yeah, he is a new character whose name I forget off the top of my head, and he is the director of the Imperial military. He's not a Grand Admiral as far as we know, nor is he Imperial Intelligence, Imperial Security Bureau, which is the other group we've seen with those white uniforms before. He is the director of the Imperial military. Here we go.
Defend that uplink.
I wouldn't say that necessarily before the prequels there was the idea that anyone could become a Jedi if they just believed. There still was the idea of there needs to be an affinity for the Force. But it wasn't as dogmatic, necessarily. Let's see, Lego sets. Well, I guess from a game standpoint, I do play, although I haven't played it really since the last time I streamed it, I don't think, which is a long time ago. I have Lego Dimensions with the Doctor Who materials. I've got several other things for it that I haven't even like put to, like Back to the Future, but I've got several sets I haven't even put together for Lego Dimensions because I haven't played the game. And that's when, and it's when you play the game when you do the building. So those are just kind of sitting there. I got a big old box of like level packs and whatnot, and other expansions that are just sitting in a box right now that haven't had anything done with them. And they're now packed, so they won't be dealt with until I move. As far as actual Legos, all my old sets from when I was a kid get handed off to my nephews. But I do have the if you watch from the Star Wars Home Video Library series on the channel, you'll see that I'm sitting in front of Star Wars Home Video shelves. At the top of those shelves, which you can't see in the way that the image is framed usually, is the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon Lego set, Poe's X-Wing Lego set, and Special Forces TIE Fighter Lego set. So I bought those fairly recently and put those together as like set dressing, basically. Display pieces. I really enjoy putting the Legos together. It's just they're so expensive that they're not always something that I feel like is worth dropping the cash on. Only reason I got the Millennium Falcon was because of they had a sale going on at Target, which was spend like $100 or whatever on Star Wars items, excluding Legos, and get X amount off. And the lady who was in charge of the place didn't recognize the fact that it's not supposed to have Legos included, and went ahead and applied it to it anyway, or told me that it would apply anyway. So then when I got to the register, she applied it, and hey, saved some money when it wasn't really supposed to be saved. Really need to, when I died, I really needed to pull out my Ion loadout, but I really just wasn't paying all that much attention. And now it won't matter because the time's running out. Hello, Leiden. It's just Leiden. Let me see. I don't think Lucas adding Vader shouting was meant to be like a middle finger to anyone. I think it was just another example of how he looks at it as, well, this would have been neat to have at some point, and it'd be good for the kids to help make it clearer, and, well, it would add a counterpoint to Revenge of the Sith, so here's the screen. Lucas just the need to tinker constantly. Which is probably, I think, the best thing, one of two really good things to come out of Lucas not being directly involved with Star Wars anymore. I mean, to have the creator's vision is one thing, but I feel as though the constant tinkering eventually led to just ridiculous tinkering that wasn't necessary and was kind of dumb, like the rocks in front of R2-D2 that only show up from one angle. And then you also have, come on, there we go. You also have the fact that some of the ideas that he appears to have, in many cases, that was useless, forced on the Clone Wars made little to no sense. I mean, Rebels feels significantly better to me and more consistent than what we got with the Clone Wars, and a lot of the things that hurt the Clone Wars seem to have been Lucas decisions. So, you know, even in terms of making for a better cartoon series, it seems like it's in better hands with Filoni and company than Lucas. Like Lucas, when he took his break from filmmaking, he lost some of his connection to what made the films great in the first place and never really recovered. It became much more about the process and experimentation than it did about, hey, let's tell a good story. I always say, you know, you look at the prequels and they brag about how there's almost no shot in the entire film that doesn't have some special effect, or particularly CG in it somewhere, and that's their main point of reference and point of pride. And here's the man who used to say, interview after interview, a special effect without a story is a pretty boring thing. Something changed for them. I don't know what. Why did Disney cancel Clone Wars? Wasn't their property and was contractually bound to a network that was not one of theirs. So if they could drop that and start a new series, they could have more creative control over it. They could bind it more to the stories they're telling in other media. And not have to split any profits with Warner Brothers, which owns Cartoon Network. I've been to Skywalker Ranch. I have not. I have a former podcasting pal slash, I guess you'd call her an ex, kind of. Is sort of being who has and has told me all about it, but I've never actually got a chance to go myself. When did they get rid of the 20th Century Fox logo on the digital Star Wars movies? Oh, why did they? Because 20th Century Fox had no... Okay, so... Let me try this. So, when they do a new release, it's a question of who has the distribution rights. And distribution rights generally to something that is a digital release. These days, a lot of times, that's the same as whoever it was that has the physical release. However, for a lot of earlier releases from an era before digital, the digital rights aren't part of the initial deal. So you wind up with the ability to basically put something out digitally without needing to worry about who had the rights to the physical release. And the physical release rights are still, at least for the time being, I believe still with 20th Century Fox, whereas the digital rights are not. Except, you'll notice if you check out the digital version of A New Hope, it's got the 20th Century Fox thing on it because Fox has the rights to A New Hope in all formats pretty much forever. Essentially forever. Which is why they'd have to cut a deal. That's also why you won't find A New Hope on Disney movies anywhere in digital form. You'll find all the other Star Wars films, but not A New Hope because of the Fox distribution right issue. So once they were able to take 20th Century Fox off of there because they weren't profit sharing on it or anything or had any role in that distribution, they did. Just like you don't see 20th Century Fox on Force Awakens, but you do see the bad robot thing, which was J.J. Abrams. Right. Oh! There we go. And it'll give me a second to bust out my eye on stuff. If Lucas was involved in The Force Awakens, how would it have turned out? Not as well, in my opinion. I mean, it sounds like I'm a Lucas basher. I feel that Lucas as an artist has to, like any artist, has to have his work put up to scrutiny, public scrutiny from the audience, and I'm not sure that his most recent decisions hold up in many cases. Sets I gave my nephews are not Lego Star Wars. They're all stuff from way before there was a Lego Star Wars license. Like way long ago, like when I was a kid. So like 80s. Ah, crap!
Get to the uplinks.
Alright, let's see. Yeah, I was going to drop something and blow myself up so I could change, and the AT-AT killed me for me. Thank you, AT-AT. Did they drop the prequel era? Will they continue it at some point? Well, I mean, they have continued a little bit. We've got the Anakin and Obi-Wan and Anakin kind of useless comic series that was recently put out by Marvel. And we got the Dark Disciple novel, which was old Clone Wars scripts that hadn't been produced. So it doesn't seem like they're completely abandoning it, but for now, that's certainly not where their focus is. Right? Their focus at this point is on missed it. Their focus now is on the original trilogy era and the sequel era, it seems like. Although, I mean, one could argue that the Han Solo story, since it's going to be in the gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, is to an extent sort of prequel era.
And the end of the Dark Lord of the
Sort of. We're gonna lose, gonna lose, gonna lose, gonna lose real bad. Although, the other day we were losing bad, and I managed to get the airspeeder and take down both of the AT-ATs on... Where was it? Tatooine, I think it was. In a match, and we won. So in essence, I single-handedly saved the match. The downside being, of course, that if you get it just now, like I just did,
Y-wing targeting system.
it's almost useless because you have to wait until the Y-wing. I mean, you would think that you could just trip it up at any time, but no, you have to wait until the Y-wings have done their bombing run to weaken it before you can drop it. I'd like to just kill some people on the ground. I think I still have a challenge of some kind, or a maybe something for that lag, stuttering. I still have a challenge or something for this to do, maybe for base command? I forget. Whatever, I'm going to go somewhere safe. Never have really done much with the Lego stuff, though I did the, like I said, I got the few for the display pieces. The thing about, like, I don't really, like, I wouldn't constantly build and rebuild it. Same thing with, like, the figures. I wouldn't play with them. I'd put them on display, so I just kind of, I've stopped collecting. The only figures I still have, aside from Disney Infinity, which are at least used for game things, I've got a still mint on card or whatever original Kyle Katarn figure from that early expanded universe line, and I've got that specifically to use as a counterpoint, sitting alongside the comic pack based on my Star Wars Tales story that has the new Kyle Katarn and Yuuzhan Vong figures in it, and I've got a few of those because I want to make sure that I always have some of those to show off, given the fact that they're not available. You can't buy them outside of secondary market anymore, and it was the first published, it was my first published work. It was the one time I got to actually write in universe for Star Wars as opposed to helping with a guidebook for Star Wars.
Now defended.
I want to say I've got like 4 comic packs. I think 2 unopened, 2 open of that one, but that's it. Jason Solo or Kylo Ren, depends on context. I like the complexity of Kylo Ren psychologically. I like the fact that we got to know Jason Solo before he went dark, so it felt more of a personal tragedy when he did. So in context, I mean, they're very different characters in terms of what we know about them and how we feel about them. Both strong, though. Don't watch digital movies that much. I don't watch the digital movie. Well, most of the time I watch on Blu-ray, just because I prefer not to have my internet connection sucked up by streaming, because I tend to watch and do other stuff at the same time.
La la la. Waiting until we finally have something to do. La la la.
At least I was able to put some pot shots in on that one. You can't press R. You have to do it whenever you're, unless they've been... Yeah, R1 is just going to block sensors. Or just going to block them from being able to blast you. It's a sensor jam. You can't do the actual call down or pull down of the AT-ATs until they get blasted by the Y-Wings. But I might have time. Let's see. Oh, and with this lag, this is going to be interesting. All right. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And triangle.
Imperial Walker has been taken out. Stormtroopers entering the area.
Booyah! He's gone. And they just took out the other one on the other side, so we just won. We were losing. Boom. Rocked it at the end. That's what I'm talking about. Whew. Yeah, I can't imagine. Oh, yeah, the other guy must have taken it down with the other speeder, so it was 2 speeders taking it out. Sweet. Did see Phantom Menace 3D in theaters. Annoyed as hell that they haven't released a 3D Blu-ray of Phantom Menace because it was in theaters. But they've also got 3D versions of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith that were released in theaters, along with The Force Awakens, or not in theaters, at the conventions. And then you got The Force Awakens released on 3D in theaters that they say is coming later this year to home video. As someone with, I mean, you can play 3D Blu-rays on a PS4, I think PS4, a PS3, or on an Xbox 360 or Xbox One now. Pretty sure. I know for sure PlayStation 3. And I've got that PlayStation branded 3D TV in there. So I'm eager to have the Star Wars films on 3D Blu-ray, and it annoys the hell out of me that they haven't done that yet. I mean, the Rey mind trick thing, I think that's something that just, it's meant to show her experimenting with the Force. I mean, giving her a chance to sort of see, as she's realizing that she has these abilities, to base... You know, like, let's see what I can do based on things I've seen, based on legends I've heard. and let's see what I can actually do with the Force. That's her mindset in doing those things, though, is much better handled when you've got a narration behind it to kind of get a sense of what she's thinking, as in the case of the novelization of The Force Awakens. Both the younger reader one by, is it Michael Koch that did that one? Or the adult one by Alan Dean Foster. Not a guy whose work I usually like, but it worked well enough. Okay, heroes versus villains. Let's win this one. Let's win one for the Gipper. Yeah, now I'm really dating myself. That's an old Ronald Reagan slogan. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, load. And Johnny Pibb, that's kind of a dick move right there. You didn't bother to comment at all or take part in the conversation, and then it just popped into the stream and dropped a plug for your own stuff. Feel free to join in the conversation and actually take part in a productive way, but that is kind of a dick move. At least be part of the conversation before you start plugging your own stuff. All right. It'd be the same thing as if, like, posting that kind of thing within the comments of someone's video when it has no relevance to the video itself. Here we go. You will start as a rebel soldier. Okay. Do I watch the Steelbook movies or the complete set now? It just depends on if I'm watching one film or multiple. Multiple, I usually grab the complete
Everyone
set,
stay
but
alert.
most of the
We
time
have
these
to
days I tend to watch
protect
one at a time. So I'll grab the Steelbooks because it's the only way that they're set up as individual films at this point on Blu-ray. Except, of course, for The Force Awakens, and I just grab whichever one on the shelf because I've got all those different U.S. versions. Usually it's it winds up being the Target one that I grab. I don't know why. Like, they're all the same friggin' film. But for some reason, it's the Target one that I grab off the shelf. Maybe because it's the one that looks weird. Because it's that little cardboard packaging. That horrible, horrible cardboard packaging that looks cool, but when you feel it, it feels so cheap. I much prefer Rebels, personally. I think Clone Wars was a mess the first couple of seasons where they were telling stories out of order, and they made Ahsoka really immature with the snips and Sky Guy kind of stuff and whatnot. I think that, though, by the time you get to the time jump at the end of Season 2, or the middle of Season 3, that was a nice push. Push in the right direction, and then eventually we got the Seasons 4 and 5, and to a degree 6, like half of 6, that really did a good job of playing up the character. Because by then we actually cared about Ahsoka, right? As opposed to Ahsoka just being a character that, you know, was just sort of there. But I did like the latter seasons of the Clone Wars for the most part. I like Ahsoka as a character now, though I didn't initially. But it's hard, if it's going to be about judging which is better, Clone Wars or Rebels, it's hard for me not to judge Clone Wars as a whole. And that means taking into account those first couple seasons of that movie that were pretty bad a lot of the times. Whereas Rebels, in being able to learn from the mistakes of Clone Wars and start out a little more solidly and with better resources, it winds up getting a leg up, in my opinion. Actually, that's what if you check out...
Got 'em. They're all down.
Dead. If you check out the, a long time ago, Exploring the Star Wars Cinematic Universe book that Sequart put out that I've got my Rebels essay in, that's one thing that I deal with in that essay about Rebels is talking about how, you know, what lessons did they learn from Clone Wars that helped make the production of Rebels go more smoothly and stronger. Oh, here we go. It's about to be uneven. Because I bet you anything, one of the people who aren't in the match or dropped from the match was who was going to be the other hero. So we got 8 seconds. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see another hero locked in. It's going to be 2-on-3 again. We actually don't have Disney XD either, for what it's worth. We just get the season pass off of iTunes. Because we cut the cord on cable a while back, so we don't use cable at all anymore. We use Netflix, Hulu, and season passes through iTunes. And Blaze TV, which is not a TV channel per se, but a subscription service. We do those instead of cable now, because the cable bills were just outrageous for what little we were actually watching. And I was getting very disenchanted. I tended to watch a lot of the news channels, bouncing back and forth between MSNBC and Fox News usually to get both political sides. And I was just getting kind of sick with the commentators on each. So it was a good time to just say, yeah, we're done. The downside of the Season Pass, though, is that when you buy the Season Pass for Rebels, it tends to treat the first half of the season as one subscription, one Season Pass, and the second half as a second Season Pass, so you wind up paying twice. Granted, you're paying half as much each time, so it still winds up being basically the same amount of money, but it's kind of asinine to have to do it twice. Hello, Vader.
You're gonna pay for what you've done. Have some of this. Let's finish them up quick.
That's not doing me any good to shoot up there. Uh-oh. Kill that probe droid. There we go.
Come on, Vader. Where are you at, boy?
Guys, seriously, we gotta kill Vader, otherwise it's gonna be a draw, right? If I remember correctly, doesn't it still show as a draw even if one side's ahead if the time runs out? Come on, guys. I can't even get up there, though. I don't think. Come on, stop getting caught on the damn geometry. Go up this way. I can get up that way. Nope. Maybe I can run. I was hoping I could run fast enough to get up there this way, but I can't. There's Vader. There you go, home skillet. Jump on down and die. That's what I'm talking about. Get back in a fight. Whew. Let's see. Sino, are you talking about Clone Wars? Oh, you mean this. You mean this game. I thought you meant like changing it so that it wasn't a focus on characters whose endpoints we already knew for Clone Wars. Yeah, see, that's what you would think. Now, right now, for instance, I'll play as a Rebel soldier, this Al Pavico or whatever, who just joined the game. If it had been choosing him, it could have chosen him to be the hero, and if he's not in the match, that just means we're down. It's ridiculous.
Keep our rebel heroes safe.
Okay, so if it is 3 versus 1, it does count as a win instead of a draw. That's good. I had no idea. Yeah, I am definitely bummed that Force Unleashed won't continue because that's my favorite Star Wars game series of all time. Is the Force Unleashed. You would think it'd be one with Kyle Katarn, given the fact that Kyle was who I used as the character in that Star Wars Tales story I wrote when I got a chance, but nope. Force Unleashed all the way. On the plus side, though, I have the I do have the Force Unleashed for actually I had that for Xbox 360 digitally. Although I've got it for PS3 also, but Xbox 360 digitally when they went on sale, and now you can play those on Xbox One. Downside is Xbox One can't natively stream to YouTube, so I can't do streams with them. The closest I can do is stream to Twitch and have it archived to YouTube. I'd rather be able to stream directly to YouTube. Oh, dead. I was wondering. Yeah, the Force Awakens drew heavily from A New Hope, but it really drew bits and pieces from all 3 of the classic trilogy films, so that it could create that atmosphere right off the bat of yes, it's going. This is a. No, this is Star Wars. This is OT feeling Star Wars. Whew. Sadly, my childhood, if I had to pin it down to Star Wars cartoons, my childhood would be Ewoks and droids, and I try not to think about that. Droids was all right, but kind of goofy at times. Ewoks was friggin' horrible. especially the second season. Those who have only seen the home video releases in the U.S. of Ewoks, meaning either the old VHS volumes that only had a few episodes, there was one with one episode, there were two with two episodes, or when they did the thing where it turned them into movies like Haunted Village and Tales from the Indoor Woods and all that. If those are the only ones you've seen, you've only seen Ewoks from the first season. Ewoks from the third season, or the second season, is even worse. They basically lobotomize the characters and turn them into completely different characters in the process. It's whoa, nope, big pile of nope. I mean, it's terrible. You have TiVo going from the goofy little magician's apprentice type guy, sorcerer's apprentice type guy, and Latara is all gaga over him, but he's oblivious. So all of a sudden, Latara is this complete skank who treats everybody like crap and TiVo all of a sudden is madly in love with her, and she uses that to her advantage to get what she wants over and over and over again. It is terrible. It is god-awful. And Wicket goes from being the growing, maturing leader of the group who sometimes does wrong and sometimes does good, but always has sort of that heart of gold kind of thing, to being a complete sarcastic douchebag. Season 2 of Ewoks is horrible. And they kind of sort of ripped the soul out of the series. We actually did a series when I was doing Republic Forces Radio Network, which I think is still at republicforces.com as archived episodes. I'm not sure. I think it is. We did a summer series to cover all the episodes of droids. We did a summer series to cover all the episodes of Ewoks. And I think that's the last I ever want to see of Ewoks as an entire series. It's just bad. Oh, and now we have an unbalanced one. It's just unbalanced in our favor. Once again.
Keep our superiors safe from the Imperials.
Who are you calling inferior? Right, because it said superior. And what movie is Who Are You Calling Inferior? From 80s flashback, Transformers the movie. I forget who says it, though. Somebody on the Decepticon ship, or on Astro Train as they're trying to get back to Cybertron after the battle on Earth. No one would follow an uncharismatic bore like you. Hey, nobody calls Soundwave uncharismatic. Let's kick tailgate! And so on and so on. I played Star Wars Bounty Hunter way back in the day when it was first released. I know that, though, that now you can get it on PS4, so eventually that and stuff like Racer's Revenge and all that I'll probably pick up and do some streams with. I've got Super Star Wars that I can do a stream with. The problem is, it's just I don't like playing that with modern controllers. And when I used to play it, thank God the challenge is finally done. I used to really like playing with the debug code where you could choose your own character, you could change the weapon type, you could pretty much do all kinds of stuff to alter the game to make it more fun to just blast your way through, as opposed to the challenge that it really is. And I haven't been able to pull off getting that code to work, if it even does work, on the PS4 digital version. But yeah, the other ones I probably will at some point. Racer Revenge, maybe me and Michael will play that. Stuff like that. It's unfortunate the only thing I can stream from reliably or quasi-reliably is the PS4, because there's other games I'd like to stream off the Xbox One, I'd like to stream off of the PS3 or Xbox 360. You just can't. Not without specialized equipment. And we got enough bills coming up with buying a fridge, buying a washer and dryer, possibly replacing a range, possibly replacing a dishwasher, the security system we're putting in, and all that stuff. We got enough to deal with. Okay. I did my penance. I did my heroes versus villains penance. I don't want to see it again. Thank God. Let's see. Have I played Battlefront 2 on PS2? I don't think I actually played it on PS2. I played it on one of the other systems at the time. And I've actually got it on the PSP, but the PSP doesn't have the campaign mode in it for that one. But yeah, I had... Let's see. So game systems. Game systems over the years. Give me a change of pace here. Game systems over the years. My first game system I ever owned was a Nintendo, an original Nintendo Entertainment System that I owned. Although... my grandmother had, I kid you not, a Pong machine. back when it was just meant to play Pong and it had the little dials and stuff on it, like pre-Atari. So I had the Nintendo Entertainment System, then got the Sega Genesis with the Sega CD2 attachment to it, Super Nintendo at that point, or after that, then Nintendo 64, then GameCube and Xbox and PlayStation 2, then Wii, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, Wii U, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. Handhelds, Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, Nintendo DSi, no, just Nintendo DS, DS Lite, and then 3DS, PSP Go, and PlayStation Vita, and for Sega, I actually had the Game Gear and the Nomad at different points in time. Now most of them, I've sold off. I sold off most of them years ago, so I still have my Wii U, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, 3DS, and Vita at this point. The other stuff I've sold and gotten over the years. Let's see. Do you think Battlefront will ever be available on PS4? I'm actually not sure how, if at all, it's available off the top of my head right now. I think it's available for
on your side.
PSP/Vita, isn't it? I honestly do not remember what it's available for yet. It'd be nice if they took a lot of those legacy titles and made them available. Especially if they're going to do more of those Star Wars-themed console releases, like the Vader-themed Star Wars console for PS4 that had the all those digital titles with it. It'd be cool if they did that, but they just haven't. And there's a few. I think part of that comes down to licenses, though. And who is or isn't willing to make a distribution deal with Sony and or EA.
Looks like we're outgunned.
Whoa! Ah! He threw something! He threw something at my feet. Oh! Okay, so how did it take you 3 or 4 shots with a shotgun-looking thing when I'm standing right in front of you?
The Imperials are blocking our shipment.
What am I at anyway? Okay, so 5 more heavy blaster kills, 5,000 score total, claim 20 pods. Okay. Yeah, I should have bought the PSP as the actual PSP, like the one that used the UMDs to play the games. Instead, I bought the PSP Go. See you, Lego fan. I bought the PSP Go, so it was all digital, which means that I have never been able to play the PSP version of Lethal Alliance. The DS version, yes. PSP version, no.
Of the shipment. Stay close to it.
And that's one of the games I really actually wanted to play on PSP. Oh yeah? You want to scream in the Weequay language? I can say I don't have a butthole. Just switch emotes again and see what some of the other ones do too.
Press forward.
Who is shooting
Don't
him? Oh, it's freaking Greedo. Yes, we said Greedo. I was killed by a Dioxis grenade, but not by the actual Dioxis, but the explosion of the grenade going off. That's a little strange. Okay. Whatever. Whatever, Holmes. Eat it, Greedo! Oh! Good night.
Heads up. Enemy soldiers sighted.
Yeah! Killed him so bad he disappeared. Wait. Oh, that is this map. Okay. I'll show you guys something I found that's useful if I can get myself back upstairs real quick. Depends on where you're spawning. Da, 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 da. Back upstairs. I don't know how well this will work with this many players playing on the map. Okay. So you got Jabba's throne room-ish, not that one. Okay, so I need to go up from here, I think. Jabba's like, damn.
The shipment's
I
progress
have
is
no
halted.
bearings
You need
of
to get
where
it
I'm
moving
going
again.
on these maps yet. even though they're the only maps you really play on. There's like 4 friggin' maps
Be cautious.
on this DLC. Okay, yeah, so we got Jabba's throne room here with the pit, right? So drop down here. Whoa. And if there is one, because it takes a while to respawn, depending on the mode, you'll slide down there, you'll pick up a charge on the way. When you get down here, don't run for the far end. Or sorry, don't run for the end with the stairs. Run for the other end. And you'll see there's a charge that'll be in the corner. And you go up the stairs. Okay, hang your first left that you can. Go a little further down, and there will be a side room where you can get another charge. So basically, you can do that in a loop as the charges respawn and get 3 charges every time, so that you're not having to spend credits to buy charges on the upgrade screen or the collecting screen. I found that very useful. In fact, I should probably switch to a different charge card when I get a chance and just run that exclusively. Actually, come to think of it, at 47 for ion shot, 84 for personal shield. I'll go ahead and go get some more ion shot ones. It just means that I won't have my jetpack, but indoors that doesn't work as well for me anyway. So run in, drop down the hole, boom, there's a charge. Run down here. Hello, app or crap? Interesting name. I'm going to say app as opposed to crap. Inside, hang the left. I'm assuming it's probably not respawned yet here. Oh, it has. Cool. So there we go. So 2 quick charges. Again, just sort of one of those, if you're really, really in desperate need of charges, that's a way to do it. Well, glad you popped by, app. This channel, for what it's worth, if it helps you, as you're looking around, I tend to do Battlefront streaming. You'll see streaming from time to time of other things. My next big project will be doing some Let's Play streams all the way through all 4 Uncharted games. All 4 console ones. Can't do it with Golden Abyss. I've got some Let's Play full gameplay walkthroughs or gameplay videos of the Star Wars Disney Infinity 3.0 games, the Doctor Who level for LEGO Dimensions. I'll be doing some more Star Wars stuff later with some of the other like back catalog legacy stuff they've made available. But this channel is mostly Star Wars content. And you've got shows like from the Star Wars Home Video Library that'll be on there. If you're interested in Star Wars Home Video releases and just kind of seeing what kinds were available in the U.S. and some of the more notable releases outside the U.S. A Guide to Disney Infinity for Star Wars fans, which is coming to an end now because so is Disney Infinity. I got a Star Wars vlog on here, the voice of reason or lack thereof, and so on. So if you like Star Wars, it's a good channel to check out. But not if you're not into Star Wars, there's not a whole lot of non-Star Wars content that winds up on the stream. Although ironically, I think my first video game content was how to do basically a 1-player escalation match on the first High Moon Studios Transformers game and manage to hit the highest level and get your trophy unlocked or whatever it was. It's been a long time, and it was done with me basically, since I couldn't stream off that system. I had like a webcam on a netbook, like sitting, because my TV and stuff and the game system were all on a dresser. I like opened up the drawer and sat the laptop in with its webcam pointing up at the TV to do it. It was pretty horrible. But yeah, and right now I'm not really necessarily playing for any goal. Those who followed the stream have followed basically the maxing out at level 60 stuff, and right now I'm just unlocking and getting through all the HUT contracts, but now I'm just unlocking star cards because it's just the grind for more credits, really, and doing challenges as they become useful, because until there's more DLC, there really just isn't a lot to do once you hit that max rank, unless you just want to keep upgrading star cards. Which is sad, but, you know, kind of the normal state of affairs, I guess. Let's see, that guy whoa, I missed it! You might want to post that again. That says, that guy from, that ends with, Nathan, you're awesome. I say thank you. But I'm curious what the full message was. I missed the first part of it because it moved on very quickly. Shoot! And the one that ends with boss moved quickly. I'm not reading fast enough. Looking forward to the Bespin DLC. Also, do you know what the date is for it? The date I don't know beyond what it says on here. I would assume we're going to get more information about it when Celebration Europe happens. Oh, hey, there's another one. Didn't even realize was there. So this could be a 4-charge run. But I am definitely looking forward to it. I want to see more content and see the game continue to develop. I've given up hope for any kind of story missions and stuff like that, but it'll be cool to see where the series can go, or where the game can go as it expands with more material. And da-da-da. All right, this will be my last just running in a circle thing. I just wanted to get some more charges. I've already got a ton of charges for Ion Shot though, because this is the one that I always use on when I remember to use it. It's the one I usually use on Walker Assault. Because it's got the Ion Grenade, the Ion Shot, and the Ion Torpedo that help tear down the AT-ATs. Which is even more important now because the most recent patch at the beginning of May added health back to all the walkers. They're all a little bit stronger now, a little bit more robust. Let's see, XZ, I already addressed that one. So you've reposted again, but I did address that a little bit ago. Let's see, am I a Jurassic Park fan? Yes and no. Like, I've got that recent box set that's got all of them in it, along with the 3D versions of 1 and 4, I think it is. I liked the novel of the first... Okay, put it this way. I watched the first film, really enjoyed it. Watched the second film, Third film, Fourth film, liked it, but you could tell it was sort of the box office, let's just try to do something to bring stuff in. It was kind of a dumb movie, even though it was an entertaining movie, a blockbuster type thing. But after watching the original Jurassic Park, I read the book by John Crichton. It's actually what got me to read pretty much all of John Crichton's books up to that point, even the non-fiction ones. And because I really like the book, now it's hard for me to watch the original film because there's so much lacking compared to the serious tone and the depth that the book had. If you've never read the original Jurassic Park novel by Michael Crichton, you really need to. It is fantastic. But it makes you watch the movie and go, oh, there are so many missed opportunities when they tried to make it a kiddie film. Or be able to market it to kids, even if it's not still a kiddie film. Do you think we'll add single-player like instant action mode to Battlefront to this Battlefront? No, because, again, basically instant action is what we've got, unless I'm completely misunderstanding and misremembering what instant action is from the previous Battlefront games. I mean, you go to the multiplayer menu and you can click 40-player, 12-player, hero mode, outer rim. All of those are instant action. None of them have you actually choosing the mode you're going to play. So I'm not sure what constitutes instant action beyond that. I don't know why I'm talking with my shoulders. When I'm not playing a game, I'm always talking with my hands, which you see in those other videos and stuff. It's like the old, what's the thing with the doctors in the 50th anniversary special? Do you always talk with your hands? Or can you talk without moving your hands? Yes? No? But yeah, I don't see any... I mean, they may add more single-player content, like more maps for survival, but... You know, I think this game, they've pretty much given up on single-player. And co-op to a degree. It's multiplayer all the time.
Prevent the rebels from extracting the shipment.
Which seems to have been their mindset in the beginning. It seems like it's almost like the missions mode and the single-player content, the little bit of single-player content that this mode actually has, or this game actually has, seems like it's there almost entirely to just say, see, we have it, even though they really don't.
The rebels are advancing.
You know?
Stop them.
Hello, Logan. New to the stream here. Cool. Choose the map in game mode. All right. Well, you can do that here too. You can choose which game mode you want, and then you can choose the map if you want to drill down into it. The issue is that generally on this game, if you choose a mode and choose a map, you're not going to be able to find enough people who have chosen the same to actually get a match going. A lot of the time. I would like to see like a galactic conquest thing come out. Give a grander scale to the missions. A grander scale to, I mean, maybe we're just constantly playing Walker Assault, but have that have a greater context to like a bigger meta game kind of thing. That'd be pretty sweet. Oh crap! I forgot. I'm running around with my Ion build. He pulled out his shield and I was gonna bust out the scattergun on him. Whoops. Let me switch. I should have switched my cards before the match, though, so that I wasn't grabbing charges for something I've already got. I have not. I've seen images, like I vaguely know kind of what Reboot is, but I've never actually seen it. That was, I think, slightly after my time. I am a child very much of the 80s. I was born in 79. So for me, it's like the early to mid 80s context of kids shows and cartoons and whatnot. And then a lot of the films of the 90s and whatnot that kind of form my context. Episode 8, for whatever, is going to be very weird. Yeah, they're going for a different feel. Though apparently they're trying to lighten up that feel a little bit with some of the reshoots, perhaps. So, we'll just have to see. But, I mean, it'd be weird anyway, 'cause it's the first Star Wars film, aside from the Clone Wars film, that will be not a numbered episode. But yet a theatrical film. See, I say but yet a theatrical film so somebody doesn't say, oh, what about the Ewok movies? They weren't in theaters. ABC. Relax. It was ABC. It was ABC or CBS. I think it was ABC, though. I think it was CBS that had the holiday special. Boy, did they get burned on that one. Oh, do I go get it? Yeah, why not? So, one, let's see if I can do the full circuit. One, possibly a power-up if you need one, if it's still there. 2 is the one on the corner. 3 is the one in this side room that I hadn't even noticed until moments ago. Run up to the top. Hang a left. Partway down the hallway. There's number 4. 4 charges in one run. Sweet. Favorite Doctor Who movie? Oh, wow. You know, honestly, I've got the, I have them both. I got them off of iTunes. And I don't think I've ever even watched them both all the way through. Because I had just finished watching the Hartnell stuff. So I didn't go back and watch the Cushing stuff, which I really should, because of how weird they are compared to the rest. Let's see, each other says not good. Let's see. Night in Europe. Okay, I'm kind of curious what the rest of the statement is, because it seems like that was cut off. If I can hum that theme, then... allowing the rebels to do as they please. Stop them at once. Boom! Oh shoot, we're already at the 2-hour mark again. I'm just wasting my whole day. That's okay. The wife is out of town going to see a friend of hers at Auburn University graduate, so... this day has been very much about killing time, especially since the summer school session starts on Monday. And I'll have almost 100 students active, hammering away during a quick 6-week summer school period, trying to get through 18-week courses in 6 weeks. So I expect some serious chaos. Oh, Czech. Czech Republic, very cool. Although, I was about to say something in Russian, I realized that, yeah, Czech, Russian, not the same language. Although I think they got similar roots. Keep the rebels away from it. Go, go, go! Gotta keep people from falling asleep, me included. Yeah, see, this is the back way to that same area if you wanted to go for it without reaching the throne room to jump down. But remember, if you jump down from the throne room to get the charge, don't do this, which is the obvious one. Use the little side thing, right, which is the little trap door that heads down into this little side piece here. And it's up there. I don't know if I can get it with my thing or not. Ding! There we go. Cool. Got it anyway. Oh, die, you rebel scum! Nope, dead. Gotta actually aim at them to take them out as opposed to aiming sideways. See, that's what I'm saying. When they talk about the need for more gun control, I absolutely agree we need more gun control. We need people to aim better. Damn it. Then there wouldn't be innocent bystanders from stray shots.
Enemy soldiers nearby.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, missed. Well, I didn't miss him, but I didn't kill him. He got into the hallway too fast. Hello? Hello, man in the hallway. Are you there? Oh, son of a whore.
now have Lord Vader to help you destroy.
Try to get 3 more kills fast, so I can do it before I end the stream, because with us being at 2 hours and 4 minutes, I should probably be wrapping it up here momentarily so it doesn't croak on me. Especially after already doing a 2 hour and 15-minute stream, half hour before this one. They try to explain, that wouldn't necessarily explain Kylo Ren per se, since, I mean, he's a child of, I mean, he's a descendant of Anakin, but his parents, neither of his parents are Jedi. But no, it makes, I wonder if that's going to be explained as the whole The Force Awakens thing, because they described it as The Force Awakens is referring to the Force sort of big awakening in powerful new Force users of both stripes, of light side and dark side, which is why Kylo Ren is so powerful. So I wonder if they're just going to break it down into that. Holy balls! Dead. But at least I got to be a human shield for the buddy behind us, right? Yeah, that's it. Stop that shipment! We are about to lose! We lost. Man, 5,000 scores should be easier to do, too. I just don't want to see this thing croak. We'll see what the next match is, whether I do another match, because it kind of depends on how long the next match is. The next match type. Have I ever seen the movie Logan's Run? I actually haven't. That's one of the classics of sci-fi that I haven't ever seen. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I think this is all very good at just hiding the... They're trying to hide the fact that it's still loading and loading and loading and loading instead of giving you a regular loading screen. So they give you all these idiotic things that you don't actually need. Blast. Blast will work. They should be fairly fast, and I should be able to get those other 2 heavy blaster kills to knock out that challenge and get a little extra credits. Not extra credit like in a class, but extra credits as in cash. Very dull sounding when I don't play the music because I don't want those copyright strikes that then say, hey, Sony or whoever it is going to be making money off of your video. If you get a chance, by the way, make sure you check out some of the other videos on the stream, or on the channel, even if it's like turning on a playlist and just kind of letting it go. Because I do the, I don't do any like, hey, PayPal donations to this or that kind of thing at this point, but I do the Google AdSense thing. So anytime you watch an ad or have an ad pop up on a video on my channel, with the exception of the ones that are flagged at, like for Star Wars music and that sort of thing, there's a tiny bit that goes towards an ad revenue thing, and every few months I'm able to get at least a little bit of cash out of it, enough to offset maybe a game or two, potentially, or help pay for like the next year's PS Plus or whatever it might be, just depending on how many ads were viewed. But I don't want to run any kind of worrisome copyright stuff and have issues with that. So for the streams, even though I probably could, because I'm doing commentary, I probably could set up an ad setup for it. I don't. I tend to do the ad stuff only when I'm doing like the my option of turning on the ads, at least for stuff like the vlog from the Star Wars Home Video Library, if there's not clips from something else in it, or for when I just bust out, you know, the table and show some Fantasy Flight Games materials and stuff like that. So it's helpful, but I mean, I've never really quite felt that the whole PayPal thing that some YouTubers do is something I want to do. At least not yet. I mean, I just feel like it's, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's appropriate yet, because I do it for fun as opposed to making it a business. And I'd rather not have to have even more tax forms than I already do.
Die!
One more, and that should knock out the challenge. Up! Run up the actual ramp, you Igmo. Thank you. Do people even say that anymore? Igmo instead of idiot? That's a real 90s thing right there. Got R4 power droid. Ah! I got killed from way down there. How do I feel about digital killing physical? Lego fan, why don't you spend the credits? How I feel about digital killing physical, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think digital is going to be an increasing market share, but I think people still want to have a physical copy. There's still a lot of people who swear by physical copies, and there's people who are collectors. You know, so for instance, like like all of my comics that I buy just about these days are digital, except for Star Wars, because the Star Wars stuff that I buy is part of a collection. So those I buy physically, and I get the digital copies when they first come out anyway. But like the Dresden Files stuff that I read, and Injustice Gods Among Us, you know, that's all digital copies that I'm reading. But there's always that aspect of, well, I want to keep this for my collection. If it's something to keep, then yeah, you're running into the issue of the cash. So you bought everything, like all the emotes, all the skins, all the weapons, all the cards and card upgrades, all the HUT contracts, everything. Let's see, wish this game had Clone Wars instead of Civil War only. Yeah, it would be nice to have some Clone Wars content in some form. Movie-wise, again, I see streaming and digital being an increasing size of the market share. I don't see us getting to the point where people just don't do physical anymore. The trick to it really is a question of percentage profits, right? Because digital, the profits can be with whoever distributes it, as far as like whoever the movie distributor is, versus a physical retail outlet. So there's not a cut from that. That's also why digital games are heavy. I just don't see us getting from all one to all of the other anytime in the near future. How hot where I am? Upper 80s, 90s-ish? I'm not 100% sure. Nice. Well, okay. Nice until about noontime, and then you're cooking eggs on your skin. And your balls would become hard-boiled eggs if you were to be outside with no clothes on. Oh! Smart rocket up my... Oh, no, it couldn't be up where I was about to say, because remember... That's right, no butthole for this character. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have... I'm working on the star cards and then star card upgrades, and eventually I guess I'll go to emotes or heads. I don't know. It's kind of useless. Come on, it's got to be a heavy blaster kill in order to count. I can't use the big blaster.
Press the attack. We're running out of time.
For a good place to drop a... Oh, wrong button. Can't deploy here. Well, wonderful. The whole point was I was trying to go back to... Yeah, I do like the physical and, what do you call it? Physical and digital being bundled together. That, I think, works well. Though usually it does wind up with me giving away the digital copy a lot of times. Like, I got a buddy of mine who's got most of the... Like, if it's an ultraviolet copy, I don't use it. I hand it off to a buddy of mine. If it's an iTunes copy, I tend to use it. But no, damn it, no, ultraviolet, personally. Although I do like the fact that you got Disney Movies Anywhere and how that gets linked up with other sites like iTunes and such, so that if you have a digital copy, say, of a Marvel film or a Star Wars film through Disney Movies Anywhere, you have it on all those other platforms too. It synchronizes between them. You don't have to multi-buy. Oh! Good thing I didn't stay up there. That thing would have blasted me. Mother! I need to finally just kill somebody else and just pull my head out, so to speak. One more death to finish the challenge. One more death would be so nice to cause. There we go, 25 heavy blaster kills. Alright, so that challenge is finally done for the day. Sweet! Now I just need to keep hammering away at score. I don't think I'm going to score enough to get that one on this match, but that'll give me a nice good place to stop because I am at 2 hours and 14 minutes. And I do not want the stream to simply croak. Yeah, what I'm playing on right now is I'm playing on, I hope I said that right. I'm playing on a wired connection through what is now, what used to be the highest speed that you could have from AT&T Uverse. Now it is, I think, the third highest, or the second highest. And what tends to happen is I'll use the wireless when I'm playing without streaming. And lately, depending on which day of the week it is and like what time of day, sometimes I'm fine, other times it goes into the red, which really sucks on this because it means you can't control anything. When I'm streaming, I've got the wire connected, the LAN wire, the Ethernet cord, and because I'm trying to stream at the same time that I'm trying to play, I frequently get the yellow, but only rarely, if ever, get the red. So, this depends. Oh, let's see. I thought they had fixed that whole the invincibility thing in one of the patches, but maybe not. I know there were several issues with vehicles and vehicle spawns that they fixed in the May patch, or said they fixed in the May patch at least. Die butthole! We're gonna lose! I don't care so long as we lose quickly. I don't want the stream to just die.
Press the attack. We're running out of time.
Press attack. Okay. Next. Oh, press the attack. As in go kick some ass. Why didn't you say so? 2. I wonder. 93. 93. Okay, that doesn't count as a death for or doesn't look like it counts as a death towards the death toll. Just curious. So it sounds like they said they fixed it, but they didn't fix it, or maybe fixed on some platforms, but didn't end up fixed on all the other ones. Oh! Shot in the head. This is an inauspicious way of ending the round, or ending the stream. A match in which we absolutely got pummeled. Oh! Challenge completed! Sweet! So that took care of all the challenges, all the daily challenges, well, the daily challenge for the day between this stream and the last stream, and all the other challenges that have popped up, with the exception of claim 20 pods, because I never did drop zone. Awesome. Good way to end here. Oh, come on, get me out of here. I guess I should just say leave game. That should throw me out of here real quick. Yep, I picked up, because I collect it, like I collect all the US releases. When The Force Awakens came out, that was another of those huge money hits, because I wound up buying the DVD copy, the DVD-only copy, the regular Blu-ray, DVD, digital combo pack, through Disney Store online, so I could get the lithographs that came with it if you pre-ordered. The BB-8 cover version from Walmart that has a little coin thing in it or whatever, or disc thing in it. The Target one in the cardboard with the extra digital content, plus the Steelbook. And I had already done the digital pre-order thing to get the little mini posters, so I wound up with a ton of money spent on that, and a lot of copies of that movie. All right. No, I'm only, as far as Jurassic Park, I just have the Blu-ray set. I don't really collect the home videos of anything really but Star Wars stuff. Anything else is just stuff that I've got to be able to watch, essentially. Okay, so I'm going to have to bail here before this thing craps out on us. New challenges here, 75 blaster rifle kills, claim 20 pods and 25 explosive kills. Not too shabby. Those shouldn't be too bad to do. Again, no hut contracts to do. And I am about halfway, a little over halfway. Oh, almost exactly halfway. When it comes to being able to unlock another of those 9 remaining star cards. So next time I stream, it'll be more of that. Maybe with Michael, maybe with Mark. We'll see. Who the heck knows? But thank you all for watching. The final spiel here, as always. Let's see. You can find my Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, over at StarWarsFanWorks.com/timeline. You can find the 2 podcasts I'm involved with, Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Herdleman and Cloud City Casino with Michael Morris over at StarWarsReport.com as part of that family of podcasts. On this channel, forgot the name of it. On this channel, you can find From the Star Wars Home Video Library, a guide to Disney Infinity for Star Wars fans, my Star Wars vlog, the voice of reason or lack thereof, and more, including a reaction to the Rogue One trailer, all here on the same channel. Feel free to subscribe, like, drop me a line. I try to interact as much as possible with those who are commenting within both the stream and on the YouTube channel when questions arise and things like that. So, as always, guys, thank you for watching. This is 2 streams done in a day. So, I think I'm done for today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good night, and we'll be back with another stream soon.